In 1645, Scotland was gripped by one of its deadliest bubonic plague outbreaks. Cities like Edinburgh, Leith, and Dundee were ravaged, with death tolls reaching catastrophic levels. Beyond the immediate horror, tales of lingering spirits and supernatural occurrences began to surface, leaving a haunting legacy that endures to this day. Edinburgh, encircled by the Flodden Wall and bordered by the fetid Nor Loch, became a breeding ground for disease. Overcrowded tenements and poor sanitation accelerated the plague's spread, decimating the population. The city's very structure seemed to trap the pestilence within its walls, turning homes into tombs. Mary King's Close, a bustling thoroughfare in Edinburgh, became synonymous with plague and death. As the disease took hold, the close was quarantined, its inhabitants left to their fate. Today, it's a subterranean time capsule where the past's echoes still resonate. In the 1990s, Japanese psychic Eiko Gibbo visited Mary King's Close and reported encountering the spirits of a young girl named Annie. Annie, who died during the plague, was said to be searching for her lost doll. Visitors now leave toys in her room, hoping to comfort her restless spirit. Another entity, known as the Watcher, is said to haunt Mary King's Close. Visitors report feeling sudden chills, hearing whispers, and witnessing candles extinguished without cause. The Watcher's presence adds a layer of dread to an already eerie atmosphere. The port town of Leith suffered immensely during the 1645 plague, with over half its population succumbing. The stench of death and decay permeated the air, leading to reports of ghostly apparitions and unexplained phenomena that plagued the survivors. On Edinburgh's Royal Mile, a nursery was reportedly sealed, with plague-infested children and their mothers inside. Today, the Museum of Children stands on this site, where visitors claim to hear faint cries of children and feeling sudden cold spots. The Burgh Muir served as a quarantine area during the plague. Victims were transported there at night, accompanied by bell-ringing bales of the Muir. Many died in isolation, and their unmarked graves are said to be the source of spectral sightings and unease in the area. Two Perthshire women, Bessie Bell and Mary Gray, built a secluded bower to escape the plague. Despite their efforts, they contracted the disease and died. Their story inspired a ballad, and their burial site is reputedly haunted by their restless spirits. Plague doctors, clad in beaked masks and long robes, became iconic figures during the outbreak. Dr. George Ray, Edinburgh's second plague doctor, survived the epidemic, but was never paid his promised salary. Some say his spirit still roams, seeking justice. In 1645, an attempt to cleanse a plague-infested house in Kelso led to a catastrophic fire, destroying much of the town. The tragedy left a scar on the community, with tales of ghostly figures seen amongst the ruins persisting for generations. Dundee was not spared, with the plague claiming countless lives. Mass graves and hurried burials led to reports of disturbed spirits. Residents spoke of eerie wails and shadows moving without cause, attributing them to the unrest of the improperly buried. The Nor Loch, once a defensive feature of Edinburgh, became a dumping ground for waste and bodies during the plague. Legends tell of ghostly figures rising from its depths, and the area remains a focal point for supernatural tales. Some tenements were reportedly sealed with infected families inside to prevent the plague's spread. While debated by historians, These stories have fueled ghost tales of trapped souls and unexplained noises emanating from these buildings. Clangers were tasked with disinfecting plague houses, often using fire and boiling water. Their grim duties and the horrors they witnessed are said to have left spiritual imprints, with some claiming to see their apparitions still performing their duties. The Galilee, a site of executions, became intertwined with plague history. Major Thomas Weir, executed for heinous crimes, was buried here. His haunted residence and the area around it are steeped in tales of supernatural occurrences. The 1645 plague left an indelible mark on Scotland's collective memory. Stories of hauntings and supernatural events became part of the cultural fabric, serving as both cautionary tales and reflections of a society grappling with immense loss. Today, visitors to Edinburgh's historic sites report unexplained phenomena, sudden chills, disembodied voices, and fleeting apparitions. These experiences keep the stories of the plague's spectral aftermath alive in the public imagination. Acknowledging these tales serves as a tribute to those who suffered and died. They remind us of the human cost of pandemics and the enduring impact of collective trauma on cultural consciousness. The Scottish Plague of 1645 was not only a medical catastrophe, but also a spiritual one. The stories of hauntings and supernatural events that followed reflects a society's attempt to process unimaginable loss, leaving behind a legacy that continues to captivate and caution even to this day.